The first is called as a literature review. For literature review, there is a need of literature search. How a research scholar can proceed for the literature search related with his research work or research paper or research thesis. So today we are going to discuss that how a research scholar can search for the literature for the primary sources as well as secondary sources related with his research. So see what are the sources from where we can get informations related with our research. So if the books are our primary sources, the textbook are the primary sources for our research work or research paper, writing the research paper. So if you see, there are so many sources for the collections of our data, how one can move for the search for the literature. So books, being a student of Buddhist studies, we are having the canonical and non-canonical text and even commentarial and sub-commentarial literatures. Vinay Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, Vidhamma Pitaka, and then Netti Pakaran, Petkopadesh, Milinda Payo, Anupitaka, and then commentarial literature written by or composed by Acharya Buddha Ghosh, Acharya Buddha Dutt, and Acharya Dhammapal. And later on, there were some commentaries which were also written, and we are having a tradition of a writing of the text in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, and other countries also. So these are the sources, main sources, how the books are being defined by UNESCO, that a book must have 49 pages and it must have a ISBN number, International Standard Book number. So that is the definition of the books. So books are our primary sources for our research. The second search for the literature, we are going to the monographs. Monographs are those written documents which are not published, but they are in the possession of the government archives or even to the scholars also. They have written, but they have not edited and they have not been published also. We have the history that how Acharya Rahul Sankrityan from India, he went to Nepal and from Nepal to Tibet. And from Tibet, he had collected a lot of manuscripts from our Tibet, that is the Kanjur and Tanjur, and they are preserved in the KP Jaiswal Research Institute, Patna, and they are being published from time to time. So this is a tradition that how the monographs or the manuscripts are being published. So what is the monograph? It has been defined that a systematic and complete treatise on a particular subject in one or more volumes, complete at the time of the publications, published with the intentions of being completed at some future date. So this is the our monograph. It is the written document might be in one volume or more than one volume. They are not in published. They are complete for the publications, but still they are in the process of publications. So this is the monograph. There are so many serials and periodicals. If you go to the central library of any university, you will find that there are sections of the periodicals as well as journals also. So this is serials and periodicals, and these are the main source of our literature. A research scholar is supposed to go through the journals, periodicals related with his subject, whether it is Buddhist studies or Buddhist history, Buddhist philosophy, or Buddhist art, or any subject, whether it is in Tibetan language and literature or Chinese language literatures. All the periodicals are being catalogued by the libraries and they are kept for our researchers. So these serials and periodicals are published from time to time. They are biannual or quarterly. These are the, but some of the, due to the paucity of the funds, some of the periodicals and the journals or serials are not published regularly. But there are some of the periodicals, even in international journals and periodicals, they are published annually or biannually or quarterly. So these are our source for our research. So this has been defined, usually published at regular established intervals with the intention of continuing publications identified. Further, we are having that how the manuscripts or the personal research papers, which are not published, but they are in the positions of the any institution. In Nepal, you might have heard about that how the Buddhist manuscripts are being preserved. Min Bahadur Sakya, Dr. Min Bahadur Sakya, he had established Nagarjuna Institute of Exact Methods. And it has a storehouse of all the manuscripts in Buddhist Library, Sanskrit text and others. And these are being published regularly. Now, the sons of our Min Bahadur Satya, they are being published. In India also, we are having so many manuscripts written by Acharyas in Sri Lanka, Myanmar, or Thailand. These manuscripts, if you go through the eastern part of Thailand, you will find the Lanna scripts, manuscripts are still available and they are being preserved, they are being catalogued, and they are being published time to time by the scholars there. Even Nepal is also famous for the having a storehouse of the manuscripts. Nepal Royal Darbar Library, it has very ancient manuscripts. In the Pali field also, we are having the earliest manuscript related with the Pali literature, that is the Chulbag. Some of the manuscripts which were written in 8th century AD, they are preserved in Nepal Royal Darbar Library. So these are our sources for the storehouse. Even in India, we are having national archives where all the manuscripts are being preserved. There is a national manuscripts mission also established by Government of India 1975, where all the manuscripts are being preserved. They are cataloged and they are being published time to time. So these are the even the personal papers of the scholars. They were not published, but they are kept in the house. So these are some of the our sources. We can also search those papers or those such papers written by our acharyas. So these are called as manuscripts created by individuals, not as employees or representatives of an organizations. These documents can be either handwritten or typed, varying length from single page note or letter to a full length book. So these are our sources of our search for the literature. Again, there are government documents which are also kept in Nepal, also Royal Darbar Library, and India, even all the government in Thailand also, they are having their national archives. In Sri Lanka also, they are having, and we are having a traditions that how at the time of the Bhatta Gamani Abhay in the first century AD, how the all the Tipitaka were preserved on the marble stone in Alu, Bihar. So these are the government documents. They are being published and even some of the our regularly journals or booklets which are being published by the government agencies, and they are also source of our information. So they are published at regular intervals or as when required already. For example, Reserve of Bank of India brings out occasional papers. Even if you go through the Indian Council of Social Science Research in New Delhi, they also publish occasional papers related with some social aspects of researches. Indian Council of Philosophical Research or Indian Council of Historical Research, they are also publishing occasional papers on special themes. So they are also some of our sources for the research. Even archives, they are documenting the our historical past in the form of the bulletins, case files, or contracts, or correspondence, or the diaries, ledger, memoirs, and memorandums. These are being preserved by government of any country, and they are also source of our information. So even in Nepal also there is a national archives. In India also there is also national archives. They are preserving some of the documents or the records, memoirs of how our history or the past stage about it. So these are also becoming the source of information related with our research. Even reports of private organizations and individual collections. We have also seen that how the personal papers of the this any research scholars, those who have already done, there are some of the persons who are collecting their information. In Nepal also there are so many acharyas. They are collecting information related with our Tipitaka or commentaries, and they are preserving. So they are also becoming a source of information. Even in Arunachal Pradesh and some of the parts of our Assam, which are bordering to Myanmar, they in some of the villages, there are some of the personal documents related with oral traditions as well as our Tipitaka. They are having oral traditions of Tipitaka. They are still preserving in their own language. The language is the Pali, but the script is Assamese and other language. So they are private collections. Still in Leh and Ladakh, there are some of the personal collections of the our lamas. They are kept in their houses, and they are sometimes our sources of research also. Even some of the private organizations, they are also having their records of books, text, manuscripts also. We have discussed that how Nagarjuna Institute of Exact Methods, they are preserving their manuscripts related with the Buddhist Sanskrit text, and they are publishing time to time their even original arts, how we can move related with our research work. So sometimes the original art papers like single paintings, drawing, watercolors, sculptures, architectural drawings, and plans. These are also sources of our research. Even in Sikkim, Bhutan, and in Tibet or in Nepal also, we are having that how the acharyas were making paintings of the acharyas, and they are kept, they are being published. So they are also source of our information. those who are doing research on the Buddhist images or the images of the Buddha, sculptures, stupas, they are becoming the source of our information. Even there was a time that when all the recordings of the seminars and conferences and the proceedings, they were available on the tapes or the video tapes. Nowadays also these are so audio visual tapes, they have been recorded in the past. They are also source of our information. Some of the things related with our discipline, Buddhist studies, we can have information related with the films and tapes. The prints, graphic art, etchings, engravings, lithographs, woodcuts, and computer generated. Even we have in Nepal also, in Tibet also, there are wood carvings of some of the text like Pragya Paramita text. They on the wooden uh, car, carpets. The whole Pragya Paramita is written in the golden color, and with the help of the goldens, they have been printed, and they are becoming the source of information. So even in some of the libraries, we are having the Pragya Paramita text which are wood carvings. They are preserved by the libraries or by the universities or any government institutions. So sometimes those who are interested in Buddhist history, Buddhist art, Buddhist architecture, these are source of information. Even in Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, we are having some of the computer generated prints of the acharyas as well as the text also images of the lamas they have and they are the source of our literature so for search for the researchers even the photographs the positive films negative films aerial or satellite images there are some of the institutions related with the remote sensing. They are recording some of the things related with our geographical or political aspects. So these are some of the sources of related with the Buddhist places, Buddhist interest, how these were developed even all the four major our Buddhist places like Lumbini, Bodhgaya, Sarnath, Kushinagar, how these are also developed by the governments and how the aerial photographs are being done and how the archaeological surveys of India or Archaeological Survey of Nepal, they are doing their jobs in preserving the Buddhist sites and the places also. And they are also helpful in unearthing some of the facts which are not discovered till yet. So there are some of the physical objects like buildings, furniture, tools, and appliances. So stupas, some of the buildings which are related with our Buddhist studies, they are also source of our information. So nowadays, there is a age of digital and all the things are available in CDs and DVDs and computer tapes. So we are having some of the historical documents related with our Buddhist history. So we can go through it and we can search some of the things related with our research. So see how the manuscripts or handwritten things, even in Nepal or in Tibet or in India, how the manuscripts are being available in all the languages, even in Tanjore or even wood carving also retains, and Lhasa we are having how the editions of the Kanjur and Tarjun in Narthang editions, Dege editions, how they are being preserved and how they are getting. So these are our sources of our information related with our research. Even in the internet age, the library becomes our main source of information related with our research work. So we go to the central library, we collect it, all the things. Even central libraries, we are having the old collections of our books. So these, even the secondary sources, the library becomes the storehouse related with our research work. So old records are also available in all the, if you go to the oldest library or national library of any country, you will find that how the books are available, how the CDs of those books are also made available, or microfilms of the how the books are being preserved there. So get familiarized with library collections and its locations and Excel tools. So nowadays, a catalog system of all the books, journals, periodicals, or the serials are being done in the libraries. One can have access of the books going after going through the catalog. There are web portal of all the books and the journals. Buddhism also we are having. So how the listing of the cities and so on. So we can access our things more nowadays. All the Tipitaka commentaries and sub-commentaries, they are available on CDs as well as through online. You can go through all the books. Buddhist Sanskrit texts are also available. Maple sutras are available. So only thing is that how you can have a skill in going through the accession of the books. If a research scholar makes a plan for how he has to make a search for the literature related with the books, journals, and reports, he has to prepare that how he has to prepare a research plan for literature search, and in that way he can move towards his. So here, literature search and literature review is a continuous process from the date of the registration into the Ph.D. course till the submission of your thesis or research paper. So only a research scholar is supposed to start with the general subject and then narrow it down by articulating suitable keywords or searching articles from the abstracting and reviewing journals and electronics databases. There is a vast literature, so but only we have to make it that how we are specific, we are narrowing the uh, title of the research. That is how you are narrowing. Narrowing means how you are making nuclei of your research. It should not be wider in the sense. It should be a specific, very pinpointed, and then you can search for the literature also. And before the making it, you have to go through so many abstracts and dissertations related with your subject. If you go through the main central library, you will find that how the abstracts of the theses are being published from time to time by University Grants Commission, New Delhi, or Nepal, Kathmandu also, and other countries also. How the Indian Council of Social Science Research or Indian Council of Philosophical Research, they are publishing time to time abstracts of the theses or abstracts of the research papers so that any research scholar can go through that. And if a research scholar can go through those abstracts of the papers, then he can find out the key terms related with his research work, and through the research keywords related with our research topic, a person can make a search plan of related with research work. So in that way, he can move towards it. So see, in a very systematic manner, what are our sources for our research? You will see there is a famous related with our Buddhist studies discipline, alaric periodicals directory, where you will get even in the university library or in the University Grants Commission, UGC, will find there are directory of Indian periodicals or Indian catalog of Indian periodicals. In Nepal also there are some of the directory of periodicals which are being published. So these are our sources for the literature search, and even abstracting journals also. Sometimes the research papers which are published in the journals, they are also the abstract of those papers are also published by or reviewed by the scholars, and they are being published. So they also become our source of our research search or literature search. Then dissertation abstracts and theses. If you will go to the library, you will find there is a University Central Library. You will find that there is a dissertation or thesis sections where all the dissertations and theses are kept. Have your access of those theses, you can go through it and you can find it. Nowadays, there is a online databases and e-journals, and there are statistical data which are also available on CDs. Some of the cases related with the our Buddhist studies, case studies, they are also available in CDs. You have to go with it. Nowadays, the bibliography has become one of the source of our literature. In the case of Buddhist study, you will find the Karl H. Potter, the bibliography in all bibliography of Indian philosophy. So there are more than 15 or 16 volumes of Karl H. Potter's bibliographies of Indian philosophy. There are six Indian system of philosophy. If you go through how the 6th century BC, our Buddhist philosophy started. So you will find that how the books which have been written related with the Buddhist study in all the aspects, whether they are Buddhist Sanskrit, Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, Abhidharma Buddhism, Yogacar Buddhism, or the Vijnanavad, Shastrantric, you will find that how the international scholars as well as other scholars, how they have written on those sections, and the bibliographies have been done there. It is a very good discipline that how people or scholars are making bibliography of all the schools of Buddhist thought, and they have been published. So these are our main source of search of the literatures. If you go through, you will find all the names of the books, journals, textbooks, primary sources, and secondary sources in all the subjects there. Even Hajime Nakamura of Japan, you might have, he has written also bibliography on Buddhism. There is a good volume. Any scholar can go through that book also. Hajime Nakamura has written on all the thoughts related with the Buddhism, and he has given bibliography that how a research scholar can move towards the primary sources as well as secondary sources. He has given a good number of information related with all aspects of Buddhist studies. So they are also source of our informations for literature search. Maps, satellites, imagery, photos, microfilms, audio, videotapes, even in all the subjects of our social science, our arts and humanities. But coming to this, our uh, Buddhist studies discipline, we see that how the microfilms of the manuscripts are available. In Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, Sarnath, the manuscripts which were brought by Rahul Sankrityan from Tibet, they are being done microfilms. They are in the manuscripts which were brought by Rahul Sankrityan, but now they are converted into microfilms also. There are some of the agencies in Japan which are also making microfilms of all the manuscripts and the books. They are available there. Even the audio tapes of the oral traditions of the acharyas, they are also available. Only we have to search the literature related with our things. Even those who are related with our Buddhist history or the Buddhist tourist places, the maps and the satellite imagery, even UNESCO has also done a lot of work related with identifying some of the Buddhist sites, and these photos and microfilms, they have become one of the source for the literature search. We have seen directories, encyclopedias, and handbooks. In the library, you will see related with the Theravada Buddhism, you will that how G.P. Malal Sekar, he has written more than 20 volumes of Encyclopedia of Buddhism. If you go through the volumes of Encyclopedia of Buddhism, you will find that how the scholars they have written on all aspects of our Buddhist studies. All the information related with the Buddhist schools thoughts, they are available even in Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism. The materials are available, and they are source of our literature. Such if you go through those research papers which are available in our Encyclopedia of Buddhism. And later on also there are some scholars who have written encyclopedias related with the aspects of Buddhism. So they are also source of our information for searching the literature. Even if you go through the G.P. Salal Maker, the proper names, encyclopedia of proper names. There are 2 volumes, and all the places which have the name of the places, persons, mountains, rivers, which have come in the Tipitaka, they have been made direct the encyclopedia of the proper names, which have been compiled by G.P. Malal Sekar. Other scholars have also written on Encyclopedia of Buddhism. So even in directories, if you go through the UGC or central libraries of the universities, you will find that how the directories are being published from time to time, and they are also helpful in our informations for searching the books. There are some of the handbooks also, they are also available, and a person can get the information related with that. So these are our sense of our information. Now the Google and other some of the websites, they have become our source of our information. So these websites like H Buddhism or there are so many sites if you go through it, and they have become our sources of information for searching the literatures. We cannot rely the informations of the website informations. Only thing that only we have to verify those informations, that whether these informations are available in our literature, available in Pali, Tibetan, Sanskrit, or Chinese or other literatures, or we have to verify it. We do not have to depend solely on the website information. We have to check it, we have to verify it from our original sources, whether they are really originals or not. Some of the informations which are on the websites, they are not reliable. A research scholar is supposed to get it verified from our literature. So these are our sources of search for the literature. We can have an idea. These are the guidelines through which we can move for searching the original sources and the primary sources. But we do not have to depend solely on those informations available on the websites. There is another sources of informations. They are the gray literature. Gray literatures are the documents or the informations which are published by any government agencies. Government agencies means the government of India or government of Nepal, which are published as gazette. These are the informations which are documented and they are being published for the public informations. So they are also informations related with our literature search. We have already seen that how the manuscripts related with our Buddhist studies, how in the Pali manuscripts or Buddhist Bapul Sutras or Buddhist Sanskrit text, they are also available in manuscripts. They are also sources of information. Nowadays, the newspaper clippings, they are being also cataloged and preserved in the libraries. If you have to go through some of the information related with 100 years ago or 200 years ago, sometimes these newspaper clippings or the files which are documented in the libraries of the government agencies or any other sources, they are also sources of our informations, and one can get the information related with that. So these are some of the our research materials through which a research scholar can move for research papers. So these, if you go through that, how in the central library, if you enter, you will find that how the catalog counters are made there. You have to search it. There is a standard, international standard cataloging of the books and the journals. You will find, and the periodicals also. There are some of the numbers like PQ, P15, Q15, or S. These are the numbers which are related with the religion or the Buddhism. In every, these are the standard. So you will access it. You can go through it through the surnames of the our acharyas or title of the books or the general name of the journals. You can go through it. Then periodicals, you can find it. So these are some of the information related with the libraries, how the book cards are being preserved. Now it has become digital in all the libraries, but still these our cards how the books are being accessed. They were written or they were typed and they were made in the libraries also. So they are some of the informations related with our books. So how we have to move for the our search related with the literature. So search the internet directories for locating various sources from which relevant sources could be picked up. We are not aware of our original sources or primary sources. We can get it from the internet or Google, and then we can find out the original sources. Use the search engines by giving various combinations of the words using connections like and or not called Boolean operations. There are some of the library, if you'll find that how the keywords are there and through which you can search the literature. Large academic library subscribes to several standard electronic databases. Use them with the help of professional library staff to economize on the parts. Nowadays, the libraries are making subscriptions, annual subscriptions or 5 years or 10 years to access all the books and the journals through online. So it is very expensive also. All the libraries are not able to make subscriptions, but still some of the good libraries of the countries, they are making access of all the databases through libraries, electronic databases. So if you go through the good libraries, you will find a databases related to your research work. So you have to become member of that also, and you can make access of those books also. Even there are some of the sample of our informations or the original sources or the primary sources. They are the Oxford Analytica, Global Issues in Context, CQ Global Researcher, Academic Search Premier. So if you go through the Oxford Analytica, up-to-date informations are available related with the political and economic situations around the world. This is not related with the Buddhism, but those who are making a research related with the political aspects or soft power policy of the Southeast Asian countries, how Buddhism is becoming a main tool of our political issues among the Southeast Asian countries. So these are if you go through the Oxford Informations Analytica, so you will find so many informations related with the soft power policy of the countries of the South Asian countries. You will find it some of the global issues in context related with the topic-oriented viewpoints on subjects like human rights, women studies, policies, politics, and science. So one can get information on this website. There is another CQ Global Researcher, in-depth analysis of political and social issues, particularly of the United States since 1923. Informations are available. Even academic search premier, full text of more than 85,000 journals are available. We are not aware sometimes that which are the good journals related with the Buddhist studies. So if you search it, then you will find that what are the journals which are being published all over the globe, and one can choose those selections like this. Now we are moving towards the information sources and then the primary sources. We are talking about the primary sources. What are the original sources? Even in case of Buddhist studies, we are having Tipitaka or the commentaries or the Anupitaka literature. These are the primary sources. So these original material on which the research is based. If a research scholar is doing research on the any aspect related with the main Tipitaka or commentaries. So these are the original sources. First appearance of the data or the results. Why we are calling it primary sources? Because we know that the teachings of the Buddha, which are first of all available and they are compiled and preserved, they are called as Tipitaka. So the first appearance of the data, we are aware that how in the third Buddhist council, all the Tipitaka or teaching the book, they were rehearsed and compiled in that collections. They are called as Tipitaka, Binipitaka, Suddhapitaka, Vidamba Pitaka. But other original papers like raw data for speech, live event, report, and videotapes of performance and autography, which are called as our primary or original sources. Now we are about secondary sources. What is the secondary sources? We also know that on main text, when some informations are written by the acharyas or the scholar, they are called as a secondary sources. Like G.C. Pandey, Professor Govind Chandra Pandey, he has written Origins of Buddhism based upon all the our chronological data of Tipitaka. So he has written that how Buddhism was originated. So these books written by the Acharyas, they are called as secondary sources. They are describing, they are analyzing, they are interpreting, they are evaluating the things which are available. So there are two methods also we have already discussed. There, even the E.J. Thomas, he who has written his Buddhism, he has made there are two aspects of Buddhist studies: literalist method and historical method. So some of the documents which were analyzed, interpreted on the basis of the literature, they are called as literalist method. And when they are archaeologically or documents or the our inscriptions, they were analyzed, they were called as historical methods. So here there are comments on evidence reporting is removed from the event. Examples like review article, the narrative literatures available in our Tipitak also, they are called as Nissay literature. In Tipitak also we are having Nissay literature, means the literatures which are developed on original sources. So they are also called as secondary sources. Even if you Panyas Jatak, there is a text which was written in Lanna script in Thailand by the Acharya, and they were published by the Acharya. So they are called as in narrative literatures. This Panyas Jatak was developed out of the 550 Jatak stories, which are discussing the birth stories of the Buddha. So narrative literatures were also developed, and they are also source of our information. Then biographies of the some of the acharyas, which were written by some of the persons. Even there are some of the autobiography also, acharyas have written their own biographies. So they are also source of our informations, the bibliographies, handbooks, data compilations, patent index and textbook. They are coming under the secondary sources. Now there is another information which is called as tertiary sources. So they are called as they are listing primary and secondary resources. Tertiary informations are also compiling and organizing such sources and are for removed from the events. Like examples, there are element encyclopedia, chronology, directories, manuals, bibliography of the bibliographies. If you go through the thesis, you will find that in the end there is a bibliography. Then first of all, there will be primary sources, secondary sources, and lastly, there will be tertiary information. So where the encyclopedias and the dictionaries and the manuals or the directories, or where the informations which are being accessed through online, through the Google websites, you have to give the informations on the tertiary informations. So in the research thesis, you will find that in the end, all the information related with the encyclopedia or manuals, all the bibliographies, dictionaries, they are given at the end after the primary sources and the secondary sources. So we have to arrange it and we have to give the list of all the books which are being published. So there are some of the informations which are published by government of any country. The documents or the published documents by any government, they are called as gray literature. So they are also informations we can put in the tertiary informations, and it is not available through the usual bibliography sources. We have to make it in a separate manner. It can be both in print and electronic formats. Examples, technical report, preprint, newsletters, booklet, brochure, and working papers also. So let us stop here. In the next class, we will discuss about the metadata related with our research